Good luck.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün Kanada'nın en iyi, dünyada ise ilk 18'de olan üniversitesi University of Toronto'da lisans eğitimini Adam'dan dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes Adam, the stage is yours now.
Thank you very much. Hello, merhaba, hoş geldiniz. Welcome to the University of Toronto presentation. My name is Adam Lotesto. I'm a recruitment officer at the university. Normally, I come to Turkey and I visit you in your beautiful country. Go to Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir. But not this year, of course, but hopefully very soon. So thank you again for coming to listen to hear a little bit more about the University of Toronto. Teşekkürler. Now, today's session will be focused only on undergraduate programs. So I will be giving a general overview of the university, but for undergraduate, including the programs and the application process, but not talking in depth about graduate programs. There will be other opportunities for students who are interested in graduate programs to learn more about various virtual events that will be coming up. So today's focus again will be on undergrad only. All right, so I will share my screen. Please bear with me one moment. Okay, so hopefully you can see that and we are good to go. So, University of Toronto, we are Canada's largest university. And not only are we the largest university in Canada, we are also one of the top rated in the world. So as you can see on towards the bottom, top in Canada, but also some really impressive rankings from all around the world in terms of being not only, again, one of the top in Canada, but one of the most recognized universities internationally. So we consistently rank within the top 20. And what that means for you as an international student is your degree has that portability. You can take it with you anywhere in the world. People know who we are and how we rank as one of the world's premier research universities. So that's good to know. You can come into Canada, have an international experience, and then go back to Turkey, or perhaps maybe you want to stay in Canada. As an international student, you are legally allowed to stay in the country for up to 3 years after you graduate. So if you enjoy your experience here studying as an undergrad and you're able to find work, which many of our international students do, you will have the opportunity to potentially stay and, you will be able to stay for 3 years. But if perhaps during that 3 year, if you enjoy it, if you're doing well, you can apply for your permanent residency. Either way, though, once you graduate, you don't have to leave right away. You have the option to stay and work in Canada. And again, a lot of our international students take advantage of the connections that they make at the university and apply for jobs and are successful in doing so. So portability in the degree is a very important thing, but also the option to be able to stay in the country after you graduate as well. And so there's a lot of great things that go into what makes U of T such a strong university. So we have a very strong legacy of discovery and innovation. Discoveries like the world's first nerve transplant. Stem cell research began at U of T. The world's first electronic pacemaker was invented here. The world's first treatment of Hodgkin's lymphoma and insulin was discovered at the University of Toronto as well. And I also like to share with students from Turkey that when I was there almost 2 years ago in Istanbul at the airport, when I was waiting for my luggage, I saw signs that said Nanoleaf technology in the airport, in your brand new, beautiful airport there. And the Nanoleaf is the world's most energy efficient light bulb. And it was invented by 3 University of Toronto students. So even in Turkey, at that state-of-the-art airport. I was able to see U of T students with their discovery and their innovations right in Istanbul. Now, we've also had lots of famous alumni like Malcolm Gladwell, Margaret Atwood, Olympic athletes, Academy Award winners, Nobel laureates, and prime ministers all graduate from the university. So again, strong legacy of discovery and innovation. But one of the best parts is the city itself. So in Toronto, you have one of the world's most livable regions. So it's a very diverse city. Half of our population have been born outside of Canada and speak a language other than English. So you'll be studying with people from all around the world, and our campus really reflects that diversity. We are also Canada's economic heartland. So what that means, of course, is there's lots of job opportunities in the Greater Toronto area. We're one of the fastest growing financial districts in North America as well. So lots of opportunity for field work, industry placements, and community engaged learning as well. So again, our city really has something for everyone. With all of those cultures, there's great restaurants, but there's also great live music, sporting events, outdoor activities, theaters, concerts, museums, whatever your interest is, Toronto has something for you. We also have one of the largest metro systems in North America, so it is easy to get around, especially during the winter. Of course, a lot of students will ask, well, it's Canada, so doesn't it get cold? And yes, it can get cold, but it's not as cold as people think. We are in southern Canada, so the weather is comparable to New York and Boston. It's northern Canada that really has the extreme cold. But you get to come to a different country, different culture, and different climate. And this is what's going to make your learning experience unique and very memorable. Now, we were founded in 1827, which is older than the city of Toronto. So basically, first the university was built, and then the city started to grow around it. So it's very much a landmark or historical part of Toronto. I mentioned that we are the largest school, and that is a good thing because being a large school means you have that many more choices both inside and outside of the classroom. And one of the first choices that you get to make is which campus you want to study at, because we offer 3. So these campuses are all within 1 hour of each other. Our St. George campus is the founding U of T campus, so that is right in downtown Toronto. Whereas Mississauga and Scarborough are each half an hour outside of the city center. So it's the same quality of education. When you graduate, it's a U of T degree. Employers and graduate schools do not have a preference as to which campus you study at. It's a choice that you get to make. And you make that choice based on what you want to study, but also the environment you want to study in. So keep that in mind. One university, 3 great campuses you get to choose. And just in terms of our location, of course, I mentioned that we're southern Canada. There you can see the more northern and westerly provinces. We are about an hour plane ride from New York, Boston, and Montreal. And of course, if you were to fly to Toronto or from Istanbul, it's approximately, I want to say, I forget now, it's been a couple of years, but probably 9 to 10 hour flight with direct flights all the time. So this is just to give you, again, a sense of our location and how accessible we are and where all our alumni are working around the world using their University of Toronto degrees. And again, taking advantage of that portability. So as I was saying, we have the 3 campuses. Mississauga is half an hour west of downtown Toronto. It's a mid-sized campus with about 16,000 students. So it is, it's also very modern. So you're going to find lots of new buildings here, a very modern feel of campus, located on 225 acres of green parkland. So lots of trees, lots of grass, a very natural setting. and a lot of new buildings, only a half an hour from the city center. Now, if you want to be right downtown, we have St. George, the founding campus of U of T. St. George has a mix of old Gothic architecture from the 1800s, as well as new modern state-of-the-art facilities. So you get the best of old and new right in downtown Toronto. Here, you'll find over 35,000 undergraduate students as well. So it is our biggest campus by student population and in the city center. Finally, our Scarborough campus, which is half an hour east of downtown Toronto, mid-size with about 15,000 students, located on 300 acres by the Highland Creek. So similar to Mississauga, it's mid-size, 15,000 students, very new modern buildings, and beautiful hiking trails behind this campus as well. So those are your options. As far as what you can study, all three of our campuses have arts, business, and science programs. That is where you'll find most of the offerings is going to be in that category of arts, business, science. However, we have 4 professional faculties that are direct entry, and those professional faculties are engineering, architecture, visual studies, kinesiology, and music. Those are only offered on the St. George campus, those 4 smaller ones, professional direct entry faculties. But otherwise, most of our programs you're going to find across the 3 campuses. So if what you want is offered at all 3, then you can choose which campus or campuses you want to apply to, because you can apply to more than one. I'll talk about that in just a moment. Now, housing is guaranteed for all of our first-year students, regardless of which campus you choose. However, because St. George is the biggest by student population, we have a college system there, which is similar to the UK style of university, and these colleges are your residence. They have nothing to do with what you want to study, because if you do apply, you'll be asked to rank your top 3 residential colleges on the St. George campus. And again, this is just for the Faculty of Arts and Science. So, do you prefer or see yourself living in a traditional dorm style that has a full meal plan, more of those older Gothic buildings from the 1800s, or would you prefer to be in a more modern apartment style that has a kitchen where you could cook your own meals? So depending on what your preference is, you get to indicate that when you apply. But in addition to where you sleep and eat, there's social activities, there's clubs and sports, academic advising, all offered to you on a smaller scale. So this is how we break down the size of St. George into these 7 smaller neighborhoods, and you're part of one of them. But it has nothing to do with what you want to study. Across our 3 campuses, there's lots of support at every level. So again, this is where a big school means you're going to have a lot more opportunity and support. So things like our academic success centers, where you can get help with any of your studies if you need it. We have peer mentors, learning strategists, writing labs, math labs. All of our professors have office hours. So that means they're available to meet with students one-on-one on a weekly basis. We also have excellent career centers, so you can find out about the jobs that you're interested in and various internships, as well as one-on-one advising, both personal and academic. Mental health is very important, especially as we navigate through the global pandemic. So we've really stepped up and added lots of great support for our students in many different aspects. Now, one of the best parts about U of T is the ability for you to mix and match programs and really personalize your degree. We offer over 700 programs. That is the best selection in Canada. And the nice thing about having that many choices is you can mix and match your areas of study. So you're not limited. If you want to combine arts and science as a double major, you can do that. If you want to be an engineer and do a minor in music, that's a possibility as well. So many different options. And in most cases, you are not officially declaring your double major or your specialization until after your first year. So this gives you time. It gives you time if you're still not exactly sure what you want to do, or if you start in an area and you want to switch, you can do that. It's flexible. You're not locked in to anything. So that's really good to know. You can build that degree to suit your needs. Now, in a few moments, I'll be posting some links to help you with your research. But in terms of the programs, generally speaking, in the arts, we have things like history, philosophy, drama, English. But we also instruct over 50 different languages at U of T. Toronto is the financial capital of Canada and the third largest financial district in North America. So it's a great place for those who want to study business. And we publish more scientific research than any other public university in North America as well. If you're interested in engineering, we have the largest and highest ranked faculty in the country. There's 8 core programs you can apply to directly from high school. And we also have an undeclared first year called Track 1. And this will allow you to, again, have a general year and then decide which of the core 8 you're most interested in. Then we have these 3 smaller faculties. Just like engineering, these are unique only to the St. George campus. So architecture and visual studies, this is obviously a great foundation program for students who are interested in architect or fine art. Kinesiology is the study of human movement. This is popular for students who are interested in sports medicine or occupational and physical therapy. And of course, music. What better place to study music than in the heart of downtown Toronto, which is a great city for the arts in general. We also give our students the opportunity to apply what they learn in the classroom to the real world. So there's a lot of great ways in which you can do that. So we offer co-op. Co-op is where you get to go to school and work at the same time. Our Scarborough campus really specializes in co-op programs. So you get to test drive a career to see what it's like and of course get paid. But we also offer a professional experience year in areas like engineering and computer science. So this allows you to take a full year off of school. So you're not paying any tuition, you're not attending class, but rather working full time. And the average salary for our students in these areas is, or for engineering as an example, is over 50,000 Canadian dollars. And 65% of the students who do that co-op have a job offer before they even graduate. So that's what makes it one of the best co-op programs in North America, because of that, how long it is, and because of the statistics of students that are successful in finding jobs before they even graduate. And again, that's using our engineering example. We've revamped our internship program, so there's a lot of new options for students through our Faculty of Arts and Science. As well, anybody can do research for credit. Independent research while being supervised by a professor beginning in your second year. So that's essentially graduate level work that you can do very early on in your undergrad career. Now, you'd be coming to Canada as an international student, but maybe you also want to diversify even more. Maybe you want to spend a summer in somewhere in Europe or UK or Australia or Asia. We have over 160 partnerships around the world. So you can do an exchange or summer course. Although I always recommend to international students to spend at least one summer in Toronto. You can take a summer course, get a part-time job, perhaps live in the residence. It's a great way to see what summer is like here, because summer is a very vibrant time in the city. So I certainly recommend that. But you could do that one summer and then maybe go somewhere else and study abroad if that interests you. And finally, when it comes to the fun side of university, student life, we have over 1,000 clubs and organizations. So anything you can think of, chances are we have. These are academic clubs, cultural clubs, religious clubs, you name it, we've got it. And this is obviously how you meet people, make friends, have fun, but at the same time, you can build your resume. You build your resume to becoming a well-rounded student that's so sought after today. Because the more you put into your university experience, the more you will get out of it. And that is really the best advice we can share with you today. All right. So hopefully this sounds good so far. Now let's talk about how you can apply and what you need to get into the university. Applying is very easy. It's a two-step process, and the first step of the application should take you about 20 minutes to complete, approximately. And the reason for that is it's a biographical application. So you're not sending any transcripts. There's no recommendation letters or essays or personal statements. None of that is required. It's just telling us who you're from, what you want to study, answering some of those biographical questions, and submitting the payment. Now, there's two ways you can apply. One is through the Ontario University Application Center, or the OUAC for short. You would use this application if you're interested in applying to more than one university in the province of Ontario. If you think, actually, I'm just interested in applying to U of T in Ontario, you can apply through our website using the international application. We don't have a preference as to which one you use. They're the same. It's just one gives you more choices. The other one is just us. And if it's just us, obviously, it's a little bit cheaper in terms of the application fee. Otherwise, there's no preference. You get to choose. So once you're on that application, if you are interested in applying to more than one U of T program, you can do that. So you know we have our 3 campuses. These are the offerings at all 3. So Mississauga and Scarborough have arts, business, science faculty. But St. George also has those 4 other smaller professional faculties as well. So you can have up to 3 U of T choices on your application. These are the general admission categories. So this is what you would ultimately choose. And you can apply for 1 per campus or 1 per faculty in the case of St. George. So let's say you were interested in computer science. You could apply to computer science at Mississauga, Scarborough, and St. George and be considered concurrently for all 3 of your choices. So you won't necessarily hear back all at the same time, but you're going to hear back from all of your choices. Same thing if you were interested in the arts. You could have 3 choices across our 3 campuses. Or maybe you're someone who really wants to be downtown and you have interest in the faculties there. You could have 1 choice per faculty to a maximum of 3 on St. George as well. So again, you can have 3 U of T choices. You'll be considered for all of them. I recommend applying to more than 1 campus. It just increases your chance of getting an offer of admission. Now, I want to just remind you that if you do choose St. George, Faculty of Arts and Science, you'll be asked to rank your top 3 colleges. Remember, for you, this is your residence. So what style of residence do you think you'd like to live in? Has nothing to do with the program you want to study. So on the application, you've chose the programs you want. You've indicated your top 3. Now you're ready to make the payment and submit your application. Once you do that, it should be about a week or so that you will then receive an email from us with a link to your application portal. This portal is where you'll be able to start sending us your transcripts, your documents. So based on what you filled out in the biographical, we will tell you what is required and list it in your portal. So the portal is where you're going to see what we need. And when we receive those documents, you'll see the date. So it's very easy for you to keep track of. Now, I mentioned how easy it is to apply because we don't require additional information. However, there are some programs, the ones that you see here, that will have an additional step. Not when you're first applying. This is, again, after you receive the email acknowledgement from step 1. So if you're applying to one of these, we want to know a little bit more about you. We want to know about your passion for the program, your extracurricular, your leadership, your community involvement, and you'll be able to tell us more by answering some short essay questions. And in the case of commerce and engineering, you will also be asked to upload a video or two of a randomly selected question that we will provide. And then you only have 1 to 2 minutes to think about how you want to respond to that question. And then you record your answer and upload it. So we will provide you with all of the instructions for these supplementals and when you need to submit them by. But you're not doing this in step 1. This is after you've submitted the application. So only these are going to ask for more. If you are not applying to one of these programs, it's just completing the application and then sending us your grades. And that's really all you need to do. Of course, in addition, you'll have to present an English facility test. So we accept many different types. We don't have a preference as to which one you submit. These are the minimum requirements. So as long as you have the minimum score for one of these, you are good to go. And one just small piece of advice is if you do apply to us, make sure that you use the exact same name if you apply to U of T as the name that you apply or that you write your English facility test. They have to match. They have to be identical. So just be aware of that. So this is a timeline of your grade 12 or senior year. We recommend that you apply by November 7th. So that's just about a month from now. This is not a binding deadline. It's not early action or early decision. It's just a recommendation because we have a lot of international students that apply each year. This will allow you to hear back from us as soon as possible. So applying early has its benefits. So by November 7th, complete that first step, the biographical application. You will receive your email from us with a link to your portal. And once you have access to the portal, that's when your school can start sending us your academic transcripts. So again, we don't want things like recommendation letters or essays. Only those programs I showed you a few minutes ago will have a secondary step. Otherwise, you're really just uploading your English facility test and your grades. And you can continue to upload grades right up until February 1st. So basically, the first thing you should be sending us is your transcripts to date. As soon as you have access to the portal, you want to send your 9 through 11 because that's complete. You can upload those or have your school do it for you on your behalf. And then as soon as your mid-year results or IB predicted results are available, you can upload those in the portal as well. You're also going to be asked to self-report your grades. So this form is going to be on that Join U of T portal. We want to know what the classes you took in grade 11 and the final grade that you received. And then for 12th grade, you'll do the same thing. You'll list the classes that you're currently enrolled in. And as soon as your mid-year results become available, you'll be able to list those there. You'll upload your English facility results as well. And yeah, everything that we need is going to be listed on the portal. So very easy for you to keep track. We make offers of admission on a rolling basis. So meaning as long as you apply early and submit everything on time, you can expect to hear back from us starting in January. We'll continue to make offers in February and March, right up until May. But again, earlier you apply, the earlier you will likely hear back from us with a decision. So with over 700 programs, that's a lot to choose from. I can't go through all of the requirements, of course, but I can tell you that I know most of you are following the Turkish diploma. So basically, we will be looking for competitive grades with a focus on your last 2 years of high school. So percentage-wise, I will give you a range. This is approximate. It does change each year, of course. But I would say that the more competitive programs at the university, Those tend to be engineering, Rotman Commerce, architecture, computer science, international co-op at Scarborough. Those 5 programs are, again, very selective. So you want to have mid to high 80s, probably high 80s to be realistic or more competitive. And even in computer science and engineering, low 90s is kind of the range for those areas. So again, those are the more selective. But for most other programs, mid 80s is competitive for admission. And there's some that could be low to mid 80s. But overall, I would say the vast majority, mid 80s is competitive. And then those more selective ones I just mentioned, high 80s, even low 90s. So that's the general range. In terms of scholarships, this is another way we keep it nice and easy. You are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships. So there's no separate application you need to complete. You will be notified with your offer of admission if you qualified for a scholarship. These range in value. So they can be a one-time scholarship of $10,000 or maybe a renewable scholarship for $45,000 each year. There's quite a few. They are competitive and selective, but the good news is you are considered automatically, and it's just based on your grades, not your extracurricular or your financial situation. We have one scholarship for international students that is a full ride. So residence, tuition, housing is all, of course, covered. But this Lester B. Pearson scholarship is obviously very competitive. So only one student per school can be nominated each year. So if you do decide to apply, talk to your guidance counselor. Perhaps they can nominate you for the Pearson Award. Last year we had 2 winners from Turkey, which is great. But again, only one student per school can be nominated. But all the other scholarships are automatic, nothing you need to do. If you want to learn more about these opportunities, the values and so forth, you can visit awardexplorer.ca where you can see a lot more about these scholarship opportunities. Just some final tips before we get to your questions. It's best to apply early. If you have half an hour this weekend, you can apply to the university. Check your email and make sure that you are checking your portal for any updates. If there's anything missing, we'll list it in there so you know what you need to send. And you have to continue to work hard all year. Because even if you do get an offer in January or February, it's conditional upon us receiving your final grades in the summer months. So if you drop a little bit, that's okay. But obviously, we don't want you to drop too much. You want to maintain your academic average as best as possible throughout the rest of the year. We have a really great website called discoverutoronto.ca. This website is great for students where you can learn more about us virtually. So on the Discover site, we have a list of upcoming webinars. So today I just did a very quick overview of the university, but if you want to know more about Mississauga or Scarborough or engineering or Rotman Commerce, for example, they will have specific sessions that you can register for and watch a webinar exclusively dealing with that content. We also have on-demand videos there. So if you want to watch me giving a presentation on how to apply step by step with screenshots, there's something you can watch there as well. But most importantly, you can hear from our students. So we have lots of student panels. You can register and hear from our students as far as what it's like to study at the university. And the other thing you can do there is get a virtual tour. And if you want to speak with a recruitment officer like myself, you can book a one-on-one virtual meeting. It's not an interview, but if you have questions about your application, that is also an option on the Discover site. So it's a great website for you to learn more about us, discover.utoronto.ca, especially in the next few weeks. We're going to have our fall campus week coming up towards the end of October. So check that out because there'll be a lot of great resources for you to, again, learn more about us. So in conclusion, you can earn a top-ranked university degree that has that name recognition, that portability, bring it back with you anywhere you want to go in the world, all while doing it at a university that gives you a lot of choice, both inside and outside of the classroom, as well as that flexibility in building or tailor making your degree. And you get to be in a city that's safe, clean, diverse, lots of fun, and has something for everyone. So those are just a few of the reasons why I hope you'll consider applying to the university. And at this point, I will welcome any questions that you have. I'll stop sharing my screen and get to some of those questions in the chat. Okay, so oh yes, I want to share some of the links. So let me just do that because I did promise some links. So the first one I want to share with you right now, this is a link to our program. So it's a chart, a PDF chart, where you'll be able to see our 3 campuses and the requirements. So I'm going to post that right now. So this is our international undergraduate bulletin. You'll be able to see the requirements and all of the majors that we have. I want to now post a link about applying. So this is the link for if you're interested in learning about the 2 types of applications. That is where you can apply. And for those of you that are wondering about our English language requirements, these are the English, IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo that we accept. And finally, if you want to know more about our scholarships, this is Award Explorer, where you can learn more about the scholarships. Okay, so I just posted that, so thank you. In the work period for co-op programs, is there a risk that we could not be recruited? If there is, what can a student do a work term co-op? So yeah, co-op is not guaranteed. You have to indicate that when you apply. You still have to interview. We have offices that are going to help prepare you for your interview and for that potential placement. So yes, it's not guaranteed, but as long as your grades are good and you interview well and so forth, you'll likely have a placement if that's something that you're interested in. When it comes to programs offered for co-op in psychology, students who have graduated from what programs would be the best in terms of the duration to be able to be a Canadian resident? So again, as an international student, if you are admitted to the university, you need a study permit to come into Canada. And then after your study permit expires, you are still allowed to stay in the country. So you can go back to Turkey if you find a job. Hey, great. But if you are liking it in Toronto and you find a job here, you have that option to stay. So as far as what is the best, it's really up to you what you want to study and what you want to pursue in your career. The application process, again, in terms of completing the application, on average takes students about 20 minutes. But in terms of when you'll hear back, anywhere from late January to right up until May is when we make our offers of admission. Do we offer online programs? So we're currently, obviously with the pandemic last year, we were mostly online. This year, our St. George campus is mostly in person. Scarborough and Mississauga at the moment are still doing most of their learning online or remotely, but hoping that in the new year, in January, they'll switch to having a lot more in person. So when it's not a pandemic, the classes are predominantly in person. Which engineering programs are the most popular ones for a career in Canada after graduation? Hard to say. I mean, it's really what you're most interested in. Computer engineering, engineering science, mechanical, those are certainly very popular, but it's always, you want to apply to a program that you're interested in, that you like the content, because if you like the courses that you're studying, it means you'll do well. If you do well, it means you're going to open yourself up to potential scholarships and internships. So always study what you like, what you're interested in, because that's produces the best results. Could you please inform about language requirements? Is Duolingo accepted? Yeah, so Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, we accept any of those. We don't have a preference. As long as you have the minimum score, you'll satisfy the requirement. And I posted in the chat the link to our English language tests. Are all the campuses close to each other? Yes, they're within 1 hour drive of each other without traffic. Not Istanbul traffic. We do have traffic here too. Not as bad as there though. But yeah, you have St. George in the center, and then city center, and then half an hour west is Mississauga, half an hour east is Scarborough. So they are close to each other, and you get to choose which one you'd like to study at. Does English proficiency exam result affect the student's acceptance if she has already gotten scores beyond the minimum requirements for the related program? For example, is there a difference for a high school student who applies to engineering, whether she has 6.5 or 7.5? Okay, so that's a great question. Basically, we just need you to get the minimum score. So your chances do not increase if you have 7.5 on IELTS versus 6.5. It's basically, when we get your scores, do they meet the requirement? Yes, there's a box that gets checked essentially. So we don't want you to write the test multiple times to get a better score, because that won't help. You just have to have the minimum score. The minimum score, the appropriate GPA for the program you want, the prerequisites, those are the main things. Only those few that I showed you earlier, engineering, Rotman Commerce, computer science, those few will have an additional supplemental where we want to know more about you, and you can tell us more about yourself and your passion for the program. Otherwise, that's all you need. So, Tanner, I hope that answers your question. Just the minimum score for English facility is all that is required. If you have any other questions, please feel free to type those in the chat now. I also want to put in the chat a link to our Discover website, where you can find our on-demand content and our schedule of upcoming webinars, and the ability to see or listen to a student panel. I really recommend this website. I just posted it in the chat. It's a great one for you to, again, learn more about us, and especially learn more during this virtual time. But hopefully you'll be able to come soon on campus and see for yourself and join us. Okay, so there's just another question. Someone who wants to study engineering, but especially at U of T. This means studying in U of T is important as studying engineering somewhere else. It seems he is eligible. So, okay, so I guess, Tana, you're saying if you're interested in applying to engineering, number one, that's its own faculty, as you saw earlier. So you can have an additional choice. So you can apply to engineering and maybe something from the Faculty of Arts and Science, and then have a third choice at either Scarborough or Mississauga. So if you're not eligible for engineering, you've kind of got other choices to be considered for. And when you do apply to engineering, you'll also be allowed to rank up to 4 engineering choices. So you saw we have our core 8 plus the undeclared major plus engineering science. So when you apply, you'll be able to rank 4 of your engineering choices. So if you're not eligible for, say, engineering science, what did you list as number 2? Mechanical engineering, hopefully you get that. If not, we go down what's third on your list, mineral engineering, etc. So we give you a lot of choices so that if you don't get that engineering, you can have backup choice or two. And once you apply to engineering, you can indicate up to 4 different engineering choices within that faculty. So you get a lot of options. Can I use deferral for 1 or more year after? Yes. So if you are interested in deferring your offer of admission, that's fine. You just have to let us know. There's a form you'll fill out, and the conditions of your offer are valid for 1 year. So that is provided that you do not attend any other post-secondary institution. So as long as you're not attending another university, if you just want to work, save some money, travel, whatever you want to do in that year, that's fine. Your offer is valid, and all of the conditions, including if you got a scholarship or residence, those will be carried over for a year. You just cannot attend another university. So those are the rules, and you'll complete those deferrals in the summertime after you're admitted. Okay, so I'm just checking the chat. Can students use every facility, library, sports, arenas, clubs, tech centers, etc.? Yeah, so that's a great point. All 3 campuses are going to have clubs, sports, state-of-the-art athletic facilities, amazing libraries. We want to have one of the top library systems in the world. And all of those clubs, all of those resources are available across the 3 campuses. So yes, you are not limited. You have access to everything that you want across the 3 campuses. You just get to choose, again, which campus you think you'd be most comfortable living at and studying at, based on what you want to study and then the environment you'd be most comfortable studying in. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions in the chat at this point, or in the question section or the chat. So I'll just remind you to visit Discover U of T, the last link I posted in the chat. It's a great resource for you to learn more about us, connect with students, and if you have further questions, you can learn a lot through that website, especially in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, thank you very much for your great presentation, Adam. We believe it was a really informative session for the attendees.
My pleasure. Thank you for those that tuned in, and I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll be able to see you in Toronto very soon. Thank you. Teşekkürler, and see you in Canada very soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Also, you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers too. And also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. University of Toronto ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için Adam'ın paylaşmış olduğu linkleri incelemeniz faydalı olacaktır. Umarız sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Yarınki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Adam. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Best of luck. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.